I'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity. And we are going through the Voices of Integrity with men, and we've been through the different personalities, going from the lower frequency to a higher frequency. Now, again, lower doesn't mean better, higher, worse doesn't, higher doesn't mean better. It's just different frequencies. Like, what's the difference between an radio wave and a gamma ray or X-ray? None's better. It's just different. Today, we're going to be covering the driver personality. And so if you're a driver personality, you chose the pyramid, and you chose out of control. So the pyramid or out of control. And so one of your greatest strengths would be your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen. One of your weaknesses might be your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen. I am a driver personality. I'm a driver analytic. So when we look at primary and secondary personalities, I like to do things fast. That's the driver. And I like to do things perfect. What about people being happy? Doesn't matter if the job gets done, people be happy. No, I'm not saying that's the right attitude. That's just the attitude of driver analytic. The driver analytic, how do I say it? I don't know. They're a prickly personality. Like, it seems like they're not caring, but they seem to care in a very different way than the other personalities. And so if you're a driver male, then you're going to have a lot of stereotype. You're cold, you're mean, you don't care about people. And it's not that, in my experience, it's you just don't care what people think. You care a lot about people. You just don't care what people think about you. Like, hello. And it's not that the driver doesn't consider it. I think the driver considers what everybody thinks, and it's right or wrong. It is what it is. If I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. If I'm stupid, I'm stupid. If I'm arrogant, I'm arrogant. Like, what do I need to do to change? Is it good? Is it bad? What is it? In being able to go through it. So as a driver, as a driver personality, if you're married to a driver, you're probably just absolutely in love and just, man, that person's amazing. No, maybe not. So my wife is an amiable personality, deep amiable. I'm a deep driver. And so what attracted me to her was that she was just a super nice, loving, woman. She'd make a great wife and a great mom, just very loving. And what attracted her to me, some of you might be thinking it's his charming personality. Back 39 years ago, I didn't have this much of a charming personality. Now I've kind of grown. My wife says I'm an acquired taste. And so what it is what attracted her to me is that I would protect her and the kids. And I was driven and I had goals, and people wouldn't take advantage of her or the kids. And so I would go ahead and I was, I had goals and wanted to produce and do things. So I loved her. She loved me. We fell in love, and then we got married. Then what happened? She's late to everything. And that's a sin. I'm pretty sure it's a sin. It's somewhere in the Bible. You can't be late. I don't know where, but it's somewhere, I'm sure. So the very things that drew me to her are the very things and she gets taken advantage of. Like, you're the mom, they're the kids. Why would you allow your kids to take advantage of you? Well, there's 7 of them. Doesn't matter. So the very things that drew me to her are very things that push, me away from her. What does she think of me? He's a jerk. Like, he's mean, he's nasty. He doesn't care about me, doesn't care about the kids. Why? Because, I share what I see. And often that's not going to be the pleasantries. That's not going to be the things that she's going to like. And so the driver personality, I think is the most understood personality of all. But that's probably me just maybe being a victim. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird because, Tim, your thoughts on the driver as a man?
I definitely think that they've got a lot of energy to them. Me being a chameleon personality, there's times that my driver comes out And when I'm on it, I'm on it. I'm pushing, I'm getting things done. Um, I think that with the driver personality is like with the expressive working with the other personalities, I think that the driver needs to work along with the other personalities as well, as because they have the drive, they have the assertiveness, but they don't have the always have the charismaticness to bring in other personalities. So working with other personalities to bring in other people, that could, bring you a long while.
Yeah, totally. And a lot of leaders of very large organizations or companies are drivers. And so they tend to be the most pragmatic, of the four personalities. And so that's not necessarily good, so they can go in the shades of gray. They can go and bend things. They can say, this isn't, so they're, what are the rules? And then how do I stretch and bend those rules? And how do I do those type of things? So totally agree with him on that. On being a man, it's like, do you know how to submit? There, most people think because it's out of control, they're control freaks, and the amiable is not. Actually, my experience, again, I'm a driver. What do I know, right? But in my experience, the amiable is the control freak. They just control everything and nobody knows. They're like the Wizard of Oz. They're just behind the scenes doing everything. And so, they're controlling everything. The driver, though, hates when things get out of control. So they tend to be really good at control, and their perception, I'm not saying the reality, because I'm a driver, so it's all my perception. But the driver's perception is that they have to clean up after everybody else's messes. That's their perception. Like, I'm always like the analytic, they don't see the big picture, and so they get themselves into trouble. The amiable gets taken advantage of, or doesn't see things, or doesn't want conflict, and all of a sudden there's this huge mess, and I got to come in and clean it up. And the amiable is all over the place, and they're not focused, and then I got to clean up after them. And part of the driver's like, it's okay. You know, I've told my 7 kids that, if dad's involved in something, there's a problem, because dad doesn't get involved in stuff unless there's a problem. That's kind of how the driver personality works. And so if you're looking, if you're listening to this podcast and drivers, you may be totally misreading them, totally misreading them. And they won't set the record straight like the other 3 often will, because in a way they don't care what you think. It's not that they don't care about you. It's just they realize just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's true. And for sure, just because you feel that I'm mean to you doesn't mean I'm mean to you. It's your feelings. So they tend to take ownership of stuff in a pretty strong way. Tim, any other suggestions you'd give for the driver, male?
Um, I don't say that I have anything right now, no.
So we'll go ahead and do a session for the chameleon that's kind of combines everything together, and then we'll bring in mental health. So definitely look probably below this in the website, and look for mental health issues, because each of the 4 personalities will have mental health issues. And so as a man, if we can get out in front as men, get out in front of our own mental health issues and clean up our own stuff rather than having our wife or kids or friends clean up our own stuff, that's a really powerful thing. Pass this along to other people, like it, share it, give it to other people, both men and women. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.